Sinners is officially the highest grossing original horror film worldwide ever. Now that that's sunk in, let's get into it and why that stands true. So technically, it's number 2 of the highest grossing horror films domestically. Landing at number 2, that's already an amazing feat. It actually recently surpassed Jaws, which phenomenal film, and it sits right behind the 2017 version of It. But It is an existing IP. An existing IP stands for intellectual property, and that basically means that that movie is based on something that existed prior to that movie coming out. It could have been a person, a comic book, TV show, a novel. So if we're talking about original horror films, Sinners sits at number 1 of highest grossing original horror films domestically. So now let's go into the worldwide. If we're going to be a little technical, it's sitting at number 6, which still in itself is an amazing feat. But why be amazing? We could be extraordinary. Yes, Sinners sits at number 6. It sits behind the 2017 It, Jaws 1975, It Chapter 2, which came out in, I want to say 2019, 1973's The Exorcist, and The Nun. But if you go into those titles, It 1 and 2 is based on the novel, which was first adapted into a miniseries, and Jaws is based on a novel. The Exorcist is also based on a novel, and The Nun is part of the Conjuring universe. So when it comes to highest grossing original horror films worldwide, Sinners is sitting at number 1. But don't get it twisted. Sinners did have a $90 to $100 million budget, but it is also one of the most profitable films. It's not just the highest grossing, but it's also one of the most profitable films to come out this decade. Now that's just 2 of the amazing things that Sinners has achieved throughout its box office run. When it comes to original, I feel like Hollywood definitely stays away from them. But something like Sinners, I don't know if it's going to get Hollywood to invest in a bunch of originals. But Corey Jefferson has one of my favorite speeches at the Oscars because I felt like he used that time to be very intentional about telling Hollywood, instead of making
one $200 million movie, try making 20 $10 million movies or 50 $4 million movies.
So Sinners has hit a bunch of fees, but I felt like that was one that we definitely should talk about because y'all out here being the highest grossing original horror film of all time worldwide, definitely worth talking about.